Good morning and welcome back. It's a great day. It is that time once again to visit with our buddy Ron the Car Guy to teach you a little something about your car you may or may not have known about. And this time of year, it's always important to talk about making sure your car starts so you can turn the air conditioning on.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Prime.
Got to have that air conditioning. Jason's telling us it's going to be beautiful weather this coming week. It was certainly hot yesterday.
Yeah.
And of course, the thing that we're going to talk about that is often forgotten in the summertime until it fails is the battery in your car.
So just getting your vehicle started in the first place.
Absolutely, absolutely. If the battery's dead, you're not going to have air conditioning.
You're not going to do that. So.
And then you're going to be mad because you're waiting for someone to come jumpstart you and it's warm. You're outside sweating and stuff. But one statistic that people sometimes find amazing is that batteries fail more in the heat than they do in the cold. It's not a cold weather item.
Why don't they ever make commercials about that? You know, in the wintertime, they always have, oh, it's snowing, it's cold, your battery doesn't start. You never see it. You never see it.
Well, we're
in the
busy
summertime.
promoting the water parks and Zubru and all other kinds of
the
fun
important
summer
things, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We've got a picture here of a battery and something from a maintenance standpoint. You see how the top of that battery's, just got like a lot of dirt and grime and stuff
Like
on there?
Film over it almost.
That will discharge a battery. That'll create a path between the positive and the negative post, and it'll discharge a battery.
No way.
Yes, yes. And one thing that we learned when I was in car guy school is you could take a voltmeter to measure voltage, and you could put it on the negative terminal of that battery, and you could touch the dirt anywhere around on top of the case, and you could measure a small amount of voltage.
Are you serious?
Yes, yes. So when you open the hood and the top of your battery just looks kind of all grimy, or sometimes it's just it just has a bunch of gunk on it.
Right.
If that sits long enough, that'll discharge a battery because it creates a path for electricity to move between the top top post, the negative, and the positive.
So if you're cleaning your car and maybe you're hosing down your engine a little bit, you might want to hit the top of the battery too.
Yeah, clean off top of the battery.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a good maintenance item. And
Never heard of that.
That was one of the reasons that way back when in the late 70s, early 80s, General Motors started using the side post battery. People thought that was due to space. There wasn't room. But back then we had all kinds of room under the hoods of the vehicles. And they went to the side post battery to help eliminate that problem.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, unfortunately, there was other problems related to that, and now most manufacturers have moved away from the side post battery. They're all back onto the top post, or many of them are.
I'm assuming when you're cleaning that, you probably want to avoid touching both posts at the same time.
It won't. Unlike the 9-volt battery that you put on your tongue and you get the little buzz, you won't experience that just because there's just not enough conductance across there. Yeah, you can grab the positive and negative post on a battery and you won't feel anything, just like you would on a D-cell battery. You're not going to feel anything. It's not going to cause anything. But yeah, that
I never heard about keeping the top of the battery clean.
absolutely.
Discharge it.
Yep. It'll discharge the battery. Yeah, it's a maintenance item that should be done. So here's another picture we got. And we've all seen this, or many people have. That's corrosion. The corrosion, obviously, that builds up. A couple of myths to dispel. Well, not necessarily myths, but they say to mix baking soda with water and put it on there, and it'll neutralize the corrosion, which it does. Or pour a can of Coke on there, and the Coke will dissolve and neutralize the corrosion, which it does. But when you see corrosion on the outside, keep in mind that same corrosion is on the inside where the clamp goes over the battery post.
Right.
So cleaning up the outside with baking soda or Coca-Cola or whatever your choice is, that visually makes it look good, but it didn't restore the connection that's inside. I mean, that cable really needs to be taken off of the battery and cleaned up and put back on there.
Yeah, you need to get one of those wire brushes.
Exactly.
And they're not expensive.
No,
only a couple bucks.
Yeah, they're under $2 at any auto parts store. But yeah, it needs to be, when you see something like that needs to be taken apart and cleaned to restore the connection. The other thing is if that problem recurs, and we've seen this on cars that come into the shop. It'll have a corrosion issue, and we'll take it all apart and clean it up and stuff, and the vehicle will be back in 2 or 3 months later for an oil change, and it's all corroded again. If that happens on a reoccurring basis, you need a battery.
There's a leak somewhere.
Exactly. It's usually where the post goes through the case. It's either not sealed up, or sometimes we've seen where there's a problem with the charging system. Maybe the alternator is overcharging the battery.
Oh, really?
And when that happens, they call it outgassing, and the battery's venting air, and there's acid in that air, so it will stick to things and cause it to corrode. So, if you have to do that once in a while, that's understandable, but if it's on a recurring basis, there's a problem that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, if it's overcharging, it's similar to boiling.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's exactly what's happening. Great analogy. Yeah, the battery is boiling. It's pushing the gases out and causing corrosion. But this time of year, we're seeing. Yesterday we had over 20 calls to jumpstart dead batteries.
Batteries?
Yeah, batteries.
What's the average lifespan of a battery? I know it changes, but
in Des Moines, Iowa,
Yeah.
it's 4 years and 2 months.
okay.
Yeah.
And is there any way
Can
to
you be a
tell?
little more specific?
I can be specific on that because we do thousands of calls each year for AAA for jump starts and battery replacements, and I'm a little bit on the analytics side, so we track that, and that's the average lifespan of a battery in Des Moines, Iowa.
Is there a born-on date or anything like that, like you do with tires in case you buy a used vehicle?
There is, and that's a great point, Jackie. Is there's usually a sticker on the side of a battery.
Okay.
I don't think I have a picture of that right now, but it'll have a letter and a number.
Okay.
So like A5 would be January of 2015.
15.
And what the letter is the month. And so that indicates when that battery was constructed. And different battery manufacturers will have different what they call rotate periods, where the battery should be rotated out of an auto parts store or a service facility and a fresh one put in. We handle AAA batteries through our AAA affiliation, and they've got a 90-day rotate on them. So any battery that we would sell is never more than 90 days old. Yeah, it's time to be rotated. Some manufacturers will go up to 6 months, but certainly it shouldn't be any longer than that.
Is that something that gets checked when you get maybe an oil change done? Because I'm not lifting up my hood seeing if the battery's clean or not.
We don't necessarily go by the born-on date, but one thing that we will look at, and I think most shops do.
They're around, and we found the dates that's burned into the batteries.
There we go. Yeah, it's actually stamped into this one. It's 1D. So D is April, and 1 would be 2011.
Because it'd be too hard for them to put April 2011.
I like to keep it complicated.
Well, we want to talk in code,
jerks.
In the event somebody wants to sell you a 2-year-old battery and claim it's new, we don't want you to be able to know.
But that's good to know. That's a great question.
It's April 2011.
But a lot of good
It's a
repair
secret.
facilities anymore. When you take your car in for an oil change, I mean they'll test your battery
They will.
For free. And if they're not doing that, just ask them, hey, could
request,
you
'cause it's a
could you
pretty
test my
simple
battery?
procedure, I imagine.
Yeah. It only takes a few minutes, and it will tell you, not only the state of charge, but the state of health, which is what you're looking for. Is when it gets real hot, is this battery going to have the power it needs to start my vehicle, or is it going to die? Because batteries don't give the warning like they used to.
No.
They used to crank over kind of slow, or the lights would be kind of dim, and now people will walk out this morning, their car started fine yesterday, and it's dead. It isn't going to work.
Wow.
Doesn't happen now. If somebody has a battery problem, do you guys have plenty in stock, or do you have access to them?
We do. We get every Tuesday. They'll be there this morning. We get pallets of batteries.
That's how many you go through.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, we go through hundreds of batteries a month. I mean, just partially because of the mobile service, we're exposed to more of that. But
That's amazing.
Yeah, we've got 4 vehicles on the road that have over 30 batteries in each vehicle.
I was going to say, if you're waking up this morning and for whatever reason your battery isn't turning over or working, what's the number to call to get some help?
The 24-hour number, because we do that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, is 515-309-1911.
Okay.
And that's answered round the clock.
I have that in my phone.
Or you can call the 225-9090 number during the day, and we'll be out there in short order.
Perfect.
Very good. Well done as always. And any other questions? People want to get a hold of you. What's the easiest way?
They can go to the website, westsideautopros.com, and contact us through the Contact Us button, or they can go to askronthecarguy.com, and I answer all questions.
There you go. And you're on Twitter now, too.
I am. Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook.
You can't get away from it.
That's right.
That's a good
right.
thing.
We're socially connected.
We'll be right back. This is a great day.